Every morning, William wakes up to find his horse, Bella, standing in the pond, a behavior that seems completely out of the ordinary. At first, he chalks it up to a strange habit, but when the behavior continues, William starts to feel something isn't right. One morning, with the ice beginning to melt, Bella charges into the freezing water without hesitation. William can't understand why his horse is so drawn to the water. Determined to get to the bottom of it, he calls the vet for an examination, but what the vet uncovers leaves everyone in shock. Before continuing the story, tell me which city you're watching from. I want to know how far this video has come. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so I can send you exciting stories like this every day. When the sun was blazing and the air thick with summer heat, Williams, a farmer with decades of experience, didn't think much of his horse, Bella, wading into the pond to cool off. It seemed natural, even refreshing in such sweltering weather. But as the days shortened and a chill seeped into the land, Bella's peculiar habit persisted. Concern deepened when Williams discovered the horse had smashed through a thin layer of ice on the pond, just to submerge itself that frosty morning. Something wasn't right, and Williams couldn't shake the unease that gripped him. He quickly reached out to his trusted veterinarian, recounting the strange behavior. The vet, though seasoned, seemed puzzled. Horses are resilient, the vet noted. They can handle cold water, but seeking it out deliberately, that's unusual. Williams could hear the curiosity in the vet's voice, but his schedule was packed, leaving him unable to visit immediately. Instead, he recommended a colleague, an experienced farm veterinarian, known for his expertise and a solid reputation in the community. Reluctantly, Williams called the new vet, recounting the events once more. This man, while polite, seemed less intrigued by the story. Still, he promised to visit the next morning. Something about the exchange left Williams uneasy, but he set his worries aside for the moment. Help was on the way. In the meantime, his focus shifted back to Bella. He couldn't risk another icy plunge. With effort, Williams coaxed the stubborn horse back to the barn, its protests echoing against the frost-kissed walls. But a simple lock wouldn't suffice. Bella had a knack for escaping when determined, so Williams secured him firmly to a sturdy beam, hoping this would hold until the vet arrived. As the barn settled into an eerie quiet, Williams found himself drawn back to the pond, compelled to uncover what might be luring Bella into its icy depths. Standing on its banks, the water's surface shimmered under a weak winter sun, patches of ice melting slowly. At first glance, it appeared unremarkable, like any other pond dotting his property and the surrounding farms. But curiosity gnawed at him. Could there be something in the water? Some hidden element, unseen yet potent, driving Bella's obsession? Williams considered testing the water, though the thought of stepping into the frigid pond made him shiver. The mystery deepened when he shared the story with his neighbors. As he described Bella's behavior, their faces mirrored his concern. "Funny thing," one neighbor said, "our horses have been acting odd too. Not exactly the same, but they've been drawn to water lately, no matter the weather." Another chimed in, recounting their own puzzling experiences. Williams realized he wasn't alone. The strange allure of the ponds was a shared phenomenon. As the neighbors exchanged tales, a sense of collective unease settled over them. What was it about these waters? While none had sought a vet's advice like Williams, they all felt the creeping disquiet. Beneath their words was an unspoken agreement. Something about the land, the water, or perhaps something unseen had changed. The horses, though they hailed from separate farms, were irresistibly drawn to their respective ponds with an intensity that defied explanation. The neighbors speculated about a possible shared cause, yet no one could identify a concrete reason for the peculiar behavior. Williams, ever cautious, resisted the growing urge to investigate the waters of his own pond, sensing an unnatural force at play beneath the surface. Something about it felt deeply wrong. That night, sleep eluded Williams as he lay tangled in thoughts of the day's unsettling events. Outside, the eerie sound of Bella's relentless attempts to break free from his stall and return to the pond pierced the quiet night. Each thud and scrape of the horse's movements fueled Williams' growing anxiety. "What's driving them to the water?" he muttered to himself, his mind cycling through a dozen unanswered questions. Bella's distress mirrored his own. The night dragged on, heavy with frustration and concern, as the horse's desperate struggles filled the silence. By dawn, Williams, exhausted from hours of restless contemplation, found Bella similarly spent. The horse's agitation was unyielding, its energy now replaced by an almost haunting exhaustion. The sight struck a nerve in Williams. He couldn't ignore the parallel between his horse's visible torment and the emotional weight he carried. For now, his only hope lay with the veterinarian's upcoming visit, a chance to unravel the enigma. When the vet arrived, the scene was as tense as Williams had described. Bella's skittishness and mounting frustration made the examination a delicate and challenging task. "We'll need to be careful," the vet said, holding a calming hand out toward the uneasy animal. Williams, standing by with arms crossed, nodded, his expression a blend of weariness and desperation. Together, they visited nearby farms to observe other horses exhibiting eerily similar behavior. The mystery deepened as every pond they inspected revealed the same strange pattern, horses gravitating toward the water as though compelled by some unseen force. The vet, meticulous in his evaluations, found no health abnormalities, no fever, no signs of illness, nothing. It was as though the water itself held the answer. Back home, Williams insisted the pond water be tested. Though skeptical, the vet collected a sample, promising to have it analyzed. "I'll call as soon as I hear back," he assured, though his tone betrayed uncertainty. After the vet left, Williams stood alone by the pond, staring into its dark, still surface. A chill ran through him as he tried to piece together the events of the past days. What was it about this water? The weather began to clear slightly, and Williams, against his better judgment, released Bella from the barn. The horse bolted straight for the pond, as though a magnetic force had drawn it. Williams watched helplessly as Bella splashed into the water, his hooves sending ripples across the surface. Torn between fear and fascination, Williams couldn't look away. What he observed left him both awed and disturbed. At first, Bella was frantic, moving erratically through the water, but after a few tense moments, the horse stilled. Its wild movements gave way to a profound calm, as though the water had pacified it completely. This sudden transformation gnawed at Williams' already frayed nerves. The pattern was undeniable. Neighboring horses displayed identical behavior, agitation followed by an almost tranquil state in their respective ponds. The shared phenomenon left Williams with more questions than answers and fueled a growing determination within him. If the horses couldn't reveal the secret of the water, perhaps he would have to confront it himself. The following morning brought another visit from the vet, but no immediate solutions. Bella, though calmer than before, resisted further examination, his exhaustion making it nearly impossible for the vet to proceed. The frustration in the air was palpable. "There's nothing medically wrong with him," the vet admitted, his voice tinged with resignation. Williams pressed his lips into a tight line, his fists clenched by his sides. The lack of answers only deepened his anguish. Caught between his concern for Bella and an insatiable curiosity about the water's influence, Williams felt trapped. He paced the barnyard, glancing periodically at the pond that now seemed to hold so much power over his horse and over him. Determined not to let the mystery defeat him, Williams and the vet returned to nearby farms, retracing their steps. The findings were the same: perfectly healthy horses, all inexplicably drawn to their ponds. Despite the vet's thorough evaluations, no physical cause could explain the peculiar behavior. The weight of the unanswered mystery hung heavily over Williams, his resolve hardening with each passing day. Whatever the secret of the ponds, he vowed to uncover it, even if it meant facing the unknown head-on. Williams' determination to uncover the truth about the mysterious behavior of his horse, Bella, spurred him into action. He visited neighboring farms, spoke with other horse owners, and sought answers to the perplexing phenomenon that seemed to grip not only his animals, but others in the area as well. Every conversation, however, left him more mystified. While everyone pointed to the water as a common factor, no one could explain why the ponds held such an inexplicable allure for the horses. Even the vet, a seasoned professional, admitted that he had never encountered anything remotely similar in his career. Together, they pondered the strange power the ponds seemed to exert over the animals, their unease growing with each passing day. At every farm Williams and the vet visited, the same eerie pattern emerged. Like Bella, the horses appeared perfectly healthy, showing no signs of illness or distress. Yet their compulsion to approach the ponds was undeniable and baffling. It was as though an unseen force was irresistibly drawing them to the water. Concern rippled through the community as farmers compared notes, discovering that this was no isolated incident, but a widespread anomaly affecting the entire area. Theories abounded, some practical, others far-fetched, yet no one could pinpoint a definitive cause. The vet conducted thorough examinations of the horses, seeking any clue that might explain their behavior. But aside from their odd fixation on the ponds, the animals were in impeccable health, leaving everyone even more puzzled. The question that haunted them all was simple, yet maddeningly elusive. What was in the water? Driven by a mix of curiosity and mounting dread, Williams pressed the vet to conduct a detailed analysis of the pond water. Reluctantly, the vet agreed, collecting a sample for testing. Though initially skeptical, the vet had to admit that the situation warranted a deeper investigation. As the sample was sent off to the lab, Williams found himself caught in a torturous wait. In the days that followed, Williams' mind was consumed by the mystery. He spent countless hours observing Bella at the pond, scrutinizing every flick of the horse's tail, every tilt of its head, for a clue. Bella's behavior only intensified, his fixation on the water growing more pronounced. It was as though the pond provided the horse with some unexplainable comfort, a relief that Williams couldn't begin to understand. The days stretched on, and with no answers in sight, Williams' unease deepened. His thoughts raced with possibilities, each more unsettling than the last. The vet, too, grew increasingly intrigued. Initially doubtful about the water testing, he now shared Williams' urgency to uncover the truth. He promised to inform Williams as soon as the lab results arrived, but the promise offered little solace. Each passing day brought more questions than answers, and Bella's unusual behavior only added to the sense of urgency. Despite being allowed to roam freely, the horse seemed at peace only when near the water, further feeding Williams' growing sense of dread. One afternoon, Williams decided to let Bella have his way. He released the horse, watching as Bella made a beeline for the pond, stepping into the water with an urgency that both fascinated and unnerved his owner. As Bella waded in, the horse's restless energy seemed to dissipate, replaced by an almost otherworldly calm. Williams observed this transformation with a mix of wonder and apprehension, his heart heavy with unanswered questions. Word of the phenomenon continued to spread, uniting the community in a shared sense of worry and curiosity. Farmers gathered to discuss their own experiences, each tale echoing the same strange behaviors Williams had witnessed. Yet no one could explain what was happening. The wait for the lab results became a shared burden, with everyone holding their breath for an explanation that might finally put their fears to rest. Even as Williams sought answers, he couldn't shake the feeling that something larger, something beyond his understanding, was at play. The water's pull on Bella and the other horses was undeniable, but the why of it all remained shrouded in mystery. Williams' days were filled with anxious observation and restless nights as he grappled with the unknown. What lay beneath the surface of the water? What unseen force held such a grip on his horse? The answers he hoped would come soon, but the longer he waited, the more deeply the mystery seemed to root itself in his thoughts. What was it about this water that triggered such a profound transformation in his horse's behavior? As Williams stood at the edge of the pond, the scene before him replayed a tale that many of his neighbors had recounted. Their horses, too, displayed a sudden shift, from wild agitation to serene calm the moment they entered their respective ponds. The phenomenon, shared across multiple farms, added an undeniable pattern to the enigma, yet the solution remained tantalizingly out of reach. Driven by a potent mix of curiosity and concern, Williams decided to take matters into his own hands. Whatever lay beneath the surface of that water held answers, and he was determined to uncover them. Taking a deep breath, he resolved to confront the unknown. Slowly, with cautious resolve, he stepped into the cold, clear pond. The water sent an icy shock through his system, its chill cutting to the bone, but Williams pressed on, steeling himself against the discomfort. Almost instantly, a peculiar sensation gripped him. Tiny rhythmic pricks raced along his submerged skin, like a swarm of invisible needles. Startled, Williams flinched and quickly waded back to the shore. His heart pounded as he peered into the water, now teeming with life. Dozens of minuscule fish darted toward the surface, their presence as unexpected as the sensation they'd caused. With a mix of fascination and trepidation, Williams reached down and managed to catch one of the tiny creatures. Holding it up to the light, he studied its translucent body and delicate fins. The fish appeared harmless, but Williams could sense that they were the key to unraveling the mystery that had baffled him and his neighbors for weeks. Williams' determination pushed him to dig deeper. That evening, he turned to books, online articles, and local experts piecing together the puzzle. His research revealed the truth. These tiny fish, a species often used in spa treatments for exfoliating dead skin, had somehow found their way into the ponds. Likely introduced by accident, they now thrived in the waters, their peculiar feeding habits providing the irresistible sensation that had so captivated the horses. Williams didn't keep his discovery to himself. The very next day, he called his neighbors together and shared his findings. The revelation was met with a collective sigh of relief. The horses weren't in any danger. Rather, they were enjoying a sort of natural massage from the fish. The worry and unease that had lingered over the community were replaced by a sense of wonder and understanding. What had once been a baffling riddle became a fascinating example of how nature worked in unexpected ways. With the mystery solved, Williams and his neighbors began to see their ponds through a new lens. These waters, once a source of anxiety, now held an undeniable allure as unique ecosystems. Williams, ever the problem solver, contacted local environmental specialists to learn more about the invasive fish species and their potential impact. His farm quickly became a gathering place for discussions about conservation and coexistence. The community rallied around the idea of preserving the delicate balance of their shared environment while safeguarding their livestock. Williams' experience marked a turning point, not just for him, but for the entire neighborhood. His neighbors, inspired by his curiosity and dedication, organized regular meetings to monitor the ponds and develop strategies for managing the fish. They spoke of creating sustainable practices that would protect both their animals and the surrounding wildlife. Over time, the once mysterious ponds became symbols of collaboration and respect for nature. For Williams, the journey didn't end there. Immersing himself in the study of his farm's ecosystem, he began adopting new environmentally conscious practices. The discovery of the fish was a reminder of nature's intricate interconnections, teaching him and his community the value of coexistence. What started as a curious investigation into his horse's behavior evolved into a profound lesson in harmony and adaptability. Williams' farm, now a hub of learning and appreciation, stood as a testament to the beauty of nature's surprises and the power of a curious, determined mind. Compelled by his growing respect for the natural world, Williams returned to the pond once more. This time he stepped into the water, not with hesitation, but with awe. As the tiny fish swirled around him, he felt a connection to the intricate web of life thriving on his land. The sensation, once startling, now seemed like a quiet reminder of the mysteries that still awaited discovery in the world around him. Williams stood knee-deep in the chilly waters, the tiny fish swirling around his legs in a mesmerizing dance. Their gentle nibbles, though strange at first, quickly became a soothing sensation that he couldn't ignore. It was as if nature itself was offering a rare gift, a moment of peace and connection. As he watched the fish dart and weave in the clear water, he understood why his horses seemed drawn to these ponds. The peculiar sensation of the fish feeding off dead skin cells was not just harmless, but oddly therapeutic, a natural spa hidden in the quiet corners of his land. The experience sparked a realization. Williams felt a deep curiosity about this unexpected phenomenon and decided to share his discovery with his neighbors. "It's nothing to fear," he explained, his voice tinged with wonder. "The fish aren't harming the horses, they're actually helping them. It's like a gentle massage, a way for the horses to relax." His neighbors, who had once viewed the ponds with suspicion, began to see them differently. Intrigued by Williams' enthusiasm, they gathered to hear more about the mysterious visitors in their water. Williams' fascination grew into a mission. He researched the small fish, carefully observing their behavior and identifying their species. They were invasive, yes, but they had carved out a role in the ecosystem that, while unintentional, was surprisingly beneficial. These fish, known for consuming dead skin cells, had inadvertently created a sanctuary for the horses, offering a unique interaction between two vastly different creatures. The discovery not only eased the community's fears, but also opened their eyes to the beauty of such unexpected connections in nature. With his newfound insight, Williams called for a community meeting to discuss the implications of the invasive fish. The room buzzed with a mix of curiosity and concern as he detailed his findings. "We have an opportunity here," he said, his voice steady but passionate. "These fish aren't just a nuisance. They're a reminder of how interconnected we all are. But we need to handle this responsibly to ensure we're protecting the balance of our environment." Together, the community agreed to seek expert advice on managing the fish population while preserving the health of their ponds. As the weeks passed, Williams took on a leadership role, organizing workshops to educate his neighbors about invasive species and the delicate balance of ecosystems. His farm became a hub for learning, a place where people came not only to marvel at the horses enjoying their fishy spa sessions, but also to understand the broader implications of human interaction with nature. Experts were brought in to guide the community on sustainable methods to manage the fish, ensuring their presence wouldn't harm the native species or disrupt the local ecosystem. Williams' journey of discovery profoundly changed him. He began to see his farm not just as a piece of land, but as part of a larger, intricate web of life. His farming practices evolved, reflecting a deeper respect for the environment. He implemented sustainable techniques, ensuring that his work supported the natural world rather than exploited it. His neighbors followed suit, inspired by his passion and the tangible results of his efforts. The ponds, once a source of anxiety, became a symbol of harmony, a testament to the unexpected ways nature could teach and heal. The community, united by Williams' leadership, embraced a new philosophy of stewardship. They started paying closer attention to their surroundings, noticing the small, often overlooked creatures that played vital roles in their ecosystem. The invasive fish, while still monitored carefully, were no longer seen as a threat, but as a catalyst for change, a reminder of the importance of coexistence and adaptability. In the quiet moments at the pond, Williams often found himself reflecting on how this journey had transformed him. "It's incredible," he would think, watching the horses wade contentedly in the water. What started as a problem became an opportunity to grow, to understand, to adapt, and to connect. If you found this story fascinating and want to explore more intriguing tales, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Our channel is dedicated to bringing you inspiring stories that help you see life and the world around you in new and exciting ways. Share this story to spread positive messages and help others discover the wonders of nature. Make sure to turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest videos. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.